Yeah, and that's late. If not free.
Time.
Yeah, I
need it. I need a getting call.
Alan, you're our engineer.
Already run.
I got out down Harold and I got Max the water break. Kind of start.
See, it didn't pause it.
No.
Only a foot or two. Yeah.
As long as I'm not somebody's.
Here. How are you? It caused it either. This didn't help. Or what? Saturday, this morning at least at 6:30.
Yeah, I was
nice. Nice at 6:30.
Twice. Got in at 87. I was.
It's a run there. Actually, yourself.
The couch.
Still.
I was at
That's why losing guess or is it this started.
But it kept running.
Which is like,
Was done.
there's been a lot of.
12 years active duty.
Count, that makes me.
Somebody else.
Somebody else.
The bad part is it's the counting part. I don't need to make exactly all that numbers are there. Like, how many numbers were in this list?
You're like, oh, yeah.
Yes,
Ability. No, you keep so much.
Doing it right now.
And I was like. What part of doing this in?
Like, have to change it.
Right.
But you both do.
I think they will. Things they've seen. I wasn't even there. Yeah, I was too, believe me.
They didn't have those.
I get lost.
My school.
I had actually texted Brian because I didn't have Bill's number and then I got.
Doubt it, but his mom sitting.
He joined and then he signed his over his son.
You do.
You got it.
Texted me like.
96.
Oh, sorry, I just saw this. Brian did. Oh.
So when my inspector.
What do you do in a hurry? Get rid of your last one?
Now,
I'm about to drag it out. I may drag it out.
To go inspect the.
it's you two. It's in a machine.
Well, how are you? Hot. Yeah, a little bit, yes.
You're just a random.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm a fat guy, yeah.
So in the motion.
You ready?
phone,
8 and 9.
Christian, you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started this evening with the City of Centerton Planning Commission, August 18th, 2026, with the roll call.
Jeff Seifarth,
Here.
Joey Engel.
Here.
Tony Davis. Greg Langford.
Here.
Ben Lewis.
Here.
Devin Murphy.
Here.
Curtis Ramsey.
Here.
John Sessoms.
Here.
Brandon Swoboda.
Here.
All right, first thing on the agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from our planning meeting of 8/4/2026.
John, a motion to approve the minutes from 8/4/26.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, next on the agenda is the ratification of the admin approval. One, home occupation, looks like a mowing company. Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners or staff in regards to the application? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve the home occupations.
This Tony, I'll make a motion to approve the ratification of administrative approvals.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Under old business, adopt the revised planning commission bylaws. Rain, do you want to cover this?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, you have a copy that shows the changes to the bylaws. It should be read. What I did, I went through, you also have a copy of the code section that changed the requirements for the Centerton Planning Commission. Okay, So basically, what I changed on the bylaws is that the members and the terms of office are going to be as stated in the code. So if they change in the code, your bylaws are going to automatically change or reflect that. So, and it's 9 members, and then each member holds the position for 3 years. We have at least of whom, some of it I did kind of put in here just so that it gives that basis for the planning commission, that it's in here. But I did try to simplify it, that it's not the whole code. So as you can see, I removed what we had, the term for each planning seat shall be 3 years. And I replaced it with what was in the code. The terms of office shall be staggered, so that 3 members' terms expire on June 30th. Members shall serve 3-year terms or until their successors are appointed and confirmed. And that was right out of section 13.0402 in the code. So I removed these others where we had gone into the process for appointments. It is spelled out in the code. So we just revised bylaws that all vacancies shall be in accordance with section 13.0402, terms and appointments of members of the Centerton Municipal Code. So basically, it's the same thing that we discussed, 60 days prior to a vacancy or a term expiring, that position will be opened up and applicants accepted. Now, for if there's an open position created that someone steps off the commission, then that is also opened up for applicants the same way, and they'll interview for the position. And they'll go through the same process. The mayor, either planning director or designee, and the chair or his designee will interview the applicants and make recommendations to the council. So the only other item, training and education, planning commit, and we had talked about this. I just changed this, instead of shall make reasonable efforts as we had it. I referenced the code again, must comply with training requirements per section 130406. So in 130406, you can go to that code section and it talks about the 4 hours, minimum of 4 hours. If the council ever changes that requirement, then it will be reflected. Oh, and also, it's not just me making changes, Brian also throw him in here too.
Hi.
Okay, Brian made a change. This one is all Brian, no. Voting 5.2. So it's actually on page 6.
You change should to shall.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Okay, members are encouraged to vote yes or no on all matters unless the member has a conflict of interest or other appropriate reason to abstain. An abstention shall be recorded as an abstention and not be counted as either an affirmative or negative vote. Okay, and you can see what we removed, because if they choose to abstain, not due to conflict of interest, it is considered a no vote. We took that out. It does not count as a no vote. If you're gonna vote no, then just vote no. So.
Bear with me, it's
Abstain vote doesn't count, period. You're abstaining.
okay.
It's not automatic.
Yeah, that's fine, yes.
Did you want to reword it?
When I'm reading it, it almost sounds like a no. It's on a yeah, like a yay or nay. When I'm reading it this time, and part of me wonders if we really need that paragraph in there. It's just an abstention. It is not a vote. It is just an abstention. Because as I was reading it just now, it sounds to me like it counts as a no. And that's exactly what we're trying to avoid.
We're talking first about yes or no.
Oh, but you know what? Perhaps I'm looking at the combined version.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you printed it off and I left it at my office. I'm sorry. So did we correct it? I'm reading the,
Right.
all right, let me see here. Yes, that's perfect. Yes, get rid of it. That's, yes. Okay, well, at least I'm consistent.
An abstention is not a vote,
We'll
period.
deduct pay tonight.
It cost the city $250.
Brian, I want you to clarify. So if there's 9 and 1 abstains and it's a 4-4, it fails. If
Yeah.
there's 8. I mean, then if there's 8 and 1 abstains and it's 4 yes, 3 no. Does it pass?
It'd be my position that it passes, correct, yeah.
Okay, so the abstention just counts the no one. So
Just,
the
just,
4 is
yeah,
majority.
you just yank it out, right?
Okay.
That's me, that language.
That just means you're not on the
Right.
panel, so.
It's just like you
Don't
weren't.
exist.
Any other questions or comments, concerns from any of the commissioners?
The only other item, the only other change was number 5, right below it, where city staff shall provide administrative and technical support, but shall not vote. We just removed that or participate in deliberations. There's times we didn't want it to be like we can't say anything, especially when you're asking questions and clarification. So we removed that. Those are the only changes.
You want to make a motion? All right, I motion to recommend to the council the adoption of the revised planning commission bylaws as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Thank you.
The city council at the next meeting on September 8th for their acceptance.
Under new business this evening, we have development 2508 Dune Coffee, preliminary plat and plans in fee in lieu of. This is at 567 North Main Street. As a reminder, it is zone C1. Is the, here to give us an overview?
My name is Eli LaSalle. I'm here from Bates and Associates, the engineer on the project. Representative, answer any questions you might have. It is proposal for coffee house on this property. We've worked with staff on a few different provisions to try to provide everything the city requires to the best of our ability. With the exception, there was a waiver granted from so it's a little specific, but the requirement is to provide basically 2 layers, 1 of trees, 1 of shrubs, and like 4 spots along the line. We have the trees and shrubs in 1 line instead of staggered like that. Still providing the screening as required. So we tried to make it work as much as we can, meet all of the intent of the code. And agreed to provide those shrubs in an alternative location on the site. Apart from that, my understanding is that all of the city code requirements and asking for your.
I think that was one of the questions last time, and that was to redistribute the required trees and shrubs. You all done that?
Yeah, we would just put those 4 shrubs toward the front of the site.
The approval will be contingent on them making updates to the remaining staff comments.
Okay. Sarah, do you want to cover for staff?
Yes, this is Dune Coffee, which is located at 567 North Main Street. The subject property is located on North Main Street. To the north is the city-owned property. To the south and the west are undeveloped lots. And to the east across North Main Street is Sienna at Cooper's Farm. The proposed project includes a remodel of the existing 2,932 square foot structure and adding a detached 1,008 square foot covered patio. The existing structure will be converted from a home to a coffee shop with indoor and outdoor seating. The approval of the large scale is contingent on remaining staff comments that include labeling and landscape adjustments. As stated prior, this is zoned Central Business District, which is our C1, which represents an area of intensive commercial uses, including retail stores, banks, offices, and the like. It is the retail core of the city. Setback requirements are as follows. It is also to note that in the C1 district, they can be built to the front and side property lines with planning commission approval. So in this case, front per code is 50 feet. For PC consideration, the applicant is requesting a 10-foot building setback line along the frontage of the property due to the proximity of the existing structure to the frontage of the lot. And then the side and street side is 10 feet per code. But for PC consideration, the applicant is requesting an 8-foot building setback along the northeast property line, north of the covered patio specifically. The building setback to the north of the parking lot area is to remain 10 feet. So you guys can consider that when I finish going through staff report on this. For drainage, the runoff sheet flows from the east end of the property to the west, except for a small portion at the street, separated from a high point just behind the ditch where it conveys to the ditch. All the runoff eventually goes to a tributary of the McKissick Creek. Runoff is proposed to continue as previously post-development, but will channelize runoff somewhat to the northwest to prepare for future development of the property to the west and allow it to be more easily managed once off-site. The development of this property will replace some of the green space with the previous area, and the peak discharge, when only considering the site, would have a small increase. Detention is proposed underground to reduce site peak runoff from pre-development to post-development, and at this time, staff has approved the drainage report that has been provided for preliminary. For flood and wetlands, no portion of this property is located inside the 100-year floodplain as shown by the National Flood Insurance Program's flood insurance rate map for Benton County, and there's no wetlands that were found on this property. For utilities, Centerton Water does exist along North Main Street. Sewer exists through the middle of the property within a 20-foot wide utility easement that runs north to south. The sewer line that does exist within that easement is a part of the McKissick corridor improvements. For the adjacent street agreement, they front along North Main Street, which is Highway 102B, which is designated as a minor arterial boulevard with 90 feet of right-of-way on the approved master street plan. Minor arterials support major roadways and often intersect with major arterials, which serve as the main spine within the community and connect to adjacent communities. The typical street section for minor arterials include 10-foot trail on both sides. However, our master trails plan does call for the McKissick Spring Loop, which is a 12-foot trail along North Main Street. The only improvements that this development will do to the adjacent street is the 12-foot trail along North Main Street and the street trees. Because of that, a fee in lieu will be provided for the improvements along North Main Street, and those amounts are listed in your packet. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer them. And then there's an image in your packet as well of what our arterial boulevard looks like. For access and connectivity throughout this property, it'll be accessed from North Main Street, and it will have a shared access drive with the property to the south. They went ahead and dedicated access easements and has been that was dedicated along the southern property line that will serve both properties and minimize the need for multiple driveways onto North Main Street. The applicant proposes to construct an asphalt drive that is approximately 291 feet in length on their portion of the access easement, while a section of the easement on the southern property will remain gravel until the property to the south develops. And I did want to make a correction. They're doing pavement on both sides, 291 feet, and then on the north side, it's much longer. I just hiccuped and didn't get the full length, but they will be doing pavement on the north side on their side, and then it'll remain gravel on the south side until the south property develops. For additional access through the site, north and west connectivity is provided per our Title 15 requirements to provide connectivity to the adjacent properties. Pedestrian access through the parking lot to the building to help with the pedestrian safety through the parking lot is also provided. They're on the south side of the parking lot and from the road. Pedestrian access from North Main Street to the building as well. For parking per Title 140405F, this development will be required to provide one parking space per 200 square feet of floor space. It's at 4,005 square feet, so you're looking at one per 200 right at 21, and they're meeting their mark right at 21. The large-scale development proposes adequate lighting within the parking lot and at the entrance of North Main Street, and wall packs will be attached to the building, and staff does recommend the approval of the photometric plan. For landscaping, the applicant is proposing landscaping throughout the development, including interior plantings within the parking areas, a 10-foot landscaped area along the frontage, and the following landscape buffer requirements. On the north and west property lines, screen type C with a waiver request for 150808E for the area to the north of the patio that was approved by Planning Commission on 8/4. We do recommend the approval of the landscape plan contingent on the addition of the shrubs that are going to be lost with the approved waiver request to be placed around the site, set as a condition by Planning Commission. I did want to note that the buffer requirement on north and west sides is type C just across the board. That's the only area that we approved that waiver request, but you can see that they're meeting the requirement elsewhere. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Just to be clear, that southwest part of the drive is the only thing not developed with this.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Southwest part of that drive entrance there is the only part not.
They're gonna grade it and base it, cause they need to for fire access, but yeah.
As long as it's based and graded, so we can get back there.
That way it almost acts as like a half street improvement with the south property. Mhm.
So I do have a question about
Gonna fall off.
about the trail. So they will participate in constructing that, but that will wait until later
They're-
Building the trail.
on Main, 12 foot. So that is part of that. I don't understand where, like,
You see the crosswalk lines by the front arrows.
I can walk up and point it out if that.
is that it right there? Okay.
It's that, the kind of speckled portion, so from here to there is the trail.
Are there plans to go back in along Main Street and connect to that trail to the north, or all the established neighborhoods and everything?
So with what we're doing, this is a little bit further south, but we are extending sidewalk on Main Street. North of this from Bliss to Seba. So this is a bit south of that. It's gonna be working on or connecting to with all the widening that's gonna go.
This will tie this will tie this part to Bliss though, right? Up to that point.
This is further south of Bliss. 'Cause you'll have the.
Close to it though, right?
Yeah, you'll have the
There's a
apartment.
parcel
That,
between the parcel that's a hill right now between this and the
Well,
apartments.
there's the apartments, the city-owned property that's not very wide, and then this one.
So is this a 10-foot?
It's 12 feet.
12 feet? What are we putting in?
Everything north is 6.
And then they all the way down
To downtown?
Along.
to the school.
go back.
All have sidewalk now as well.
Go back, so they can walk from. Yeah, and trees.
I was wondering. why
So
this would be
why,
12.
why is this one 12 and everything else 6?
So this is part of the McKissick loop with the development for our master trails plan. What we're doing with the grant funds is more just a lot of the connectivity, so there is accessible routes. So tying the existing where there's gaps in the sidewalk now and all the existing sidewalk is only 5. So we're tying them in at 6.
Okay, and so this trail, I don't remember the trail system, so this 12 foot's gonna go north, right?
They go past the school.
It's up to 72.
Yeah, I'd say with development with Main Street, that's part of what we're working with RDOT to get it on the STIP to Main Street to get the whole thing done. You'd have that whole thing for those.
So it'll keep going 12 foot all the way north, all the way up to 72.
Once we can work with RDOT to
And
get
then,
it.
but 6 foot's everything else to the school and everything. Is that right? I just understood. Am I misunderstanding that?
To connect it all together, 6-foot pieces will be like connecting all that together. And then off to the school. The high school finish at 6 foot.
And then how does any of that affect the request for 10 feet, 8 feet? Does that affect this at all? Right here.
Building setbacks.
For their applicants requesting 10 foot, yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't impact the trail, no.
it's just between the two lots.
Mhm,
And it's mainly just a, covered patio.
mhm.
Correct me, that north parcel that the city owns, it's buildable, it's the weird one in it. Anyway, right?
It's,
That north parcel, yeah, that's the city owned one, right, with the berm on it.
Mhm.
But that one, we always said it was,
There you go.
it's gonna be used at one time for like a connection road or something.
the connection road was to the north of the city parcel. It goes to the.
I thought it was the city parcel itself we were looking at.
No, that's right.
Used to be the city's. Other people owe this.
Is there,
Yeah.
is there?
Used to be a street.
Thinking about fire hydrant access, that,
There's one in the middle of the parking lot, or right at the edge of the parking lots where there's
the driveway, where it is?
there's one proposed in the.
Yeah, it's.
It's proposed just behind the existing building before you get to the parking lot. So that's also, this section is a little bit wider. This section of the like access drive, that's also to meet fire requirements. So this 26-foot section adjacent to the hydrant, that's what that was for.
And that's where it is, okay.
Mhm.
There's a weird statement in here. I want to make sure I understand it. Says considering only the site, the peak discharge would increase. What do you mean by that?
It's not, that's something from their report that with development, with the paving, the total amount of runoff is increasing, so they're putting a underground.
Okay, so
to bring it
But
below.
after it's detained, there's not an increase, right? Okay. One last question. The adjacent street agreement, have you compared that to new bids or anything that's recent? Cause I'm not even sure you could get anybody out there to do the undercut for 10 grand.
Say I send the prices to Public Works, basically what we've had for recent bids, and I'm not sure when we accepted that, but
Let's check.
Any other questions or comments?
Dave on top of it.
May. So this year.
If there's no other questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion for the preliminary plat and plans and be in lieu of, also including any outstanding, staff comments.
John, I motion to approve development 2508, fee in lieu of, and any outstanding comments from city.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is a public hearing this evening. This is for conditional use 2612 Tiny Roots Academy. Childcare registered family home, up to 8 children at 561 Astor Street. It is lot 140 of South Winds Phase 2. It is zoned R3 single family, 0.20 acre lot. And I'm gonna go ahead like we've started and go ahead and entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Joey, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for conditional use 2612.
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. Is anyone opposed? We are now open to the public. Is the applicant here to give us a quick overview of what you're requesting?
Good evening, I'm Soundarya. I'm here regarding my home preschool. And I want to operate my preschool according to all the required licensing and zoning restrictions. And I'm here to answer any questions and provide information you need. I appreciate your time and consideration.
Is it 7 children or is it 8 children? Because I have 2 different things on my sheet.
2-8,
Up to 8, okay.
but I'm planning to see like 7 kids.
Because on the document, it says 7.
Which document?
It says proposed use.
This document says up to 7.
So she's proposed up to 7, but the use itself, she can have up to 8. She's requested up to 7. It's only requesting.
Can we just say 8 to be covered?
Can we just say 8 to be covered?
Go.
Yes.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, I know, you're right.
I was just like, I'm like, there's 2 different things. All right, Christian, would you like to give us a staff overview, please?
Lands on it.
The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a licensed home preschool, use number 83 childcare registered family home for up to 8 children. The 0.20 acre property is located at 561 Astor Street, lot 140 in the South Winds Phase 2 subdivision. Per the applicant, the purpose is to offer a safe and educational environment for up to 8 children of local families. The interior space to be used is approximately 650 square feet and includes the living room, front hall, bathroom, and bedroom. And then outdoor play will occur within a fully enclosed backyard. Operating hours will be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. with parent drop-off and pickup occurring during those times and utilizing the existing 4-car driveway. The owner applicant is proposed to be the only employee. Zoning is R3SF, medium high density single family. This area is intended for detached single family dwellings with a suitable lot area. And the setbacks are in your packet. The surrounding zones and uses, the property is surrounded by R3SF in the South Winds Phase 2 subdivision. Directly south is Lot E of South Winds Phase 2 as a detention pond. To the south across Kimmel Road is property zoned R4 MF and A1 as the dunes at Prairie Valley. And to the east is property zoned A1 operating as industrial as a cement plant. Utilities, the home is connected to Centerton Water and Sanitary Sewer, Black Hills Energy and Carroll Electric per the Southwind Phase 2 final plat. Again, the hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For access and parking, the property is accessed from Astor Street. The driveway provides 4 uncovered parking spaces. Staff findings, per our city engineer and public works director, with the drives along Astor and the drainage structures, there is not much opportunity for on-street parking. With potentially 7 vehicles showing up at once, not all of them will fit in the driveway, with no mention as to if and how a personal vehicle will get out if there is a second person living there that needed to leave. The applicant's response was they will ensure that drop-off and pickup times will be staggered, with families encouraged to arrive within designated time windows rather than all at once and be on site for only 1 to 2 minutes. In addition, the property has a 55-foot driveway, providing ample space for vehicles to safely enter, stop briefly, and exit without obstructing the street. There will be no usage of personal vehicles, and clear parking and traffic procedures will be communicated to all families to maintain safe and orderly vehicle movement. Occupancy / usage, at no time shall the total number of persons residing in a single residence exceed the total capacity allowable by building or fire codes. The total number of children per the schedule of uses for use number 83 is no more than 8 children. If additional staff need to be hired outside of the conditions set, an amendment will need to be reviewed by staff and brought to Planning Commission for approval. Staff findings, per the building department, the garage shall not be used for childcare. The covenants for the Southwind subdivision state that only home occupations or businesses allowable are those permitted or defined by the codes, regulations, and ordinance of the city of Centerton. Covenants are a private agreement between the POA and residents and are not enforceable by the city of Centerton. Term of approval and or expiration. Term of approval is recommended for an indefinite period of time from date of PC approval. Approval of this use permit expires upon discontinuation of the approved use after 1 year and will require reapplication and reapproval. For PC consideration, the applicant has requested an indefinite period of time. For fire, the home shall have a
a mounted fire extinguisher and pass a fire inspection. All other requirements made by the fire and building departments must be met before a business license can be issued. And there are general conditions in your packet. They did meet all their public hearing requirements, and there have not been any public comment received through email or mail. Their narrative as well as their floor plan and the proposed areas to use are in your packet, as well as pictures of the site and the exterior of the house in the backyard. And I can answer any questions you can.
Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners?
How wide was that street? Does it show on there? Is that one that has street parking?
I'm sure it's our typical 30 for
So
neighborhoods.
during drop off, they don't have to keep it that way cleared. You can walk them off on the sidewalk.
Drives in the curve, on street parking's not really feasible.
Long term.
Yeah, that's what's gonna be my comment. The two driveways are so close in
Yeah.
proximity to their driveway that it would have to be obviously a condition to have, I don't know, her be responsible for her clients not to block private driveways.
That's what I'm getting at.
That would be a
They're
condition.
gonna end up.
Because if we
parking on
got-
the Street,
That would,
walking.
I would think, cause
10 minutes.
this item to come back to us if we have a problem with.
I mean, there is an opportunity between, if you go past the house where the drainage is.
Yeah, it's just, you have to.
It's an
The
opportunity.
curve in, so.
Yeah, but you know.
Or the north side
You
of.
know how, yeah, what should happen, what does happen in real life sometimes.
I understand.
Just keep in mind, if your folks are dropping, people off, they can't block other people's driveway. If they park on the street to drop off.
Week for two schedules, like 8 to 4 and 8:30 to 4:30. So only three parents will arrive at that half an hour time.
That was my concern. I was like, the only thing I saw there was they were complaining about.
Have we approved a conditional use of in an R3 SF home for something like this?
I don't think-
I just don't remember.
Daycares,
This is up the road.
yeah,
From here. Right through.
3 houses up the road, we did that.
we've done homeschool and daycare.
It's the most recent one.
I don't think we've ever denied one based on what I remember.
And under residential, that is a
Condition.
use. Sometimes it's good to have the community stuff in front of me and all that. It'd be nice when we have this presentation, we can have that. Or we can go back and look, but I can't remember.
I don't think they would bring it to us if it wasn't.
No, I know, but I still would like. For me.
The chart.
So he's saying scheduled uses.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to see scheduled use.
And is this, what's the period of time again for this?
Indefinitely,
Indefinitely.
that's what they're
But
asking.
again, if there is a complaint or a concern that's brought, then it
There were
would,
no public comments or?
no, but we haven't, there were nothing was submitted via email so far.
We're still open to the public.
Correct.
And the state still has to.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
And they have to go through the state licensing and the emergency vehicles and all that kind of stuff.
We are open to the public. If anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, we'd ask that you come to the podium. State your name, address, and any questions, comments that you might have. Second call for anyone that wishes to speak. And third and final call.
This is Joey. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for conditional use 2612.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? If there are no additional questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion for conditional use 2612 Tiny Roots Academy, which will be a registered childcare at 561 Astor Street.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Christian, if you do a roll call for me, please.
Tony Davis.
Yes.
Greg Langford,
Yes.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Ben Lewis, John Sessoms,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Joey Engel,
Yes.
Brandon Swoboda,
Yes.
Jeff Sci-Fi.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is the introduction of the appointed planning commissioners for a term that will run from 9/1/2026 to 6/30 of 2029. You guys probably know Joey. Chief attorney.
met him before.
Pretty quiet. And then we have two new members that will be joining us, Kylie and Michael. I don't know if you guys want to say anything, how excited you are, anything like that, or you want to do a meet and greet afterwards? So if you guys, put you on the spot. I won't even make you come to the podium. I'll just make you say hi, whatever you guys want to do. They'll be joining us. Let's go.
I work with AF as a designer, so that's what I've been doing. I've presented in front of you guys a few times. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm excited to serve and to continue working on everything. I've worked with Centerton and the City Hall and all that stuff already, and so it just feels like this might be the next step in public growth. So.
Well, you get the best seat in the house.
Big not Sam.
You can't just run off the exit.
You can't do that.
That's how, hey, we can trade. Look at oh,
The military.
we had a change of command. We're done.
Starts September 1st.
All right.
Yeah.
Good evening, I'm Michael Bowman. Next, I was happy to let her go first. I live in the Beckett Park neighborhood up on the north end of Centerton. We're fairly new to Centerton. I retired as a police officer in Texas and relocated my family up here. I'm actually from the state of Arkansas. I grew up in Lavaca, just outside of Fort Smith. Been with my wife Valerie over 20 years. We've got a 14-year-old who just started at Bentonville West and a 12-year-old at Haas Hall in Bentonville. I was interested in the position simply because I love this city. I'm very, very excited to live here. When we relocated, it wasn't for any specific reason. We didn't get moved here by work or anything like that. I love the Northwest Arkansas area from my time in college at the University of Arkansas. As we got to looking, Centerton really stood out. I mean, obviously it's a fast growing city, so I knew that there was a reason for that. The stability of leadership and the government was a big part of my interest. And we're just really excited to be here. I'm excited to be a part of helping Centerton grow. Look forward to meeting you all.
But we need some police officers too. I know a guy. I help you out.
All right, and then we do have two members that are gonna be departing. John is one of them.
Thank you.
So John and Jeffrey come down here.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Now. So I'll say a couple. So John has been serving our planning commission now for 6 years. And he's been on the commission since 2020. And I appreciate your service to the commission. And I think maybe Jeff might want to say something.
No, I appreciate it as well. You always participate. You had a tough schedule for a year or two, and the cool thing with when we could do the whole COVID thing, you could still join no matter where you're at, which is kind of fun. You're always dedicated to the commission. So I appreciate your 6 years.
Well, thank you, fellas. I appreciate it, and staff. It's been wonderful.
Let them see it too. Turn, yeah.
You signed your plaque already.
Yeah, I already
I
signed it.
signed it, yeah.
All right, I think we're done. Are we done? Oh, Brandon, you want to
Yes, if you want.
Yeah.
get? Say no.
No, I take my sign.
Christian may not pay you.
Oh,
Don't take him to hay.
Devin's been on our planning commission since Centerton was incorporated. He used to ride a horse to the planning meeting. But no, he's lived in the community a very long time and has been serving our planning commission nonstop since 1998 for 27 years. So he's done an outstanding job, and well, I appreciate your service.
I think Devin's the one that got me on here. Across the street. So he invited me and another friend of ours to get involved with the city, and so I've known Devin not only as a friend, but glad to have him on here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Wait.
Well, yeah, I don't need to be in the picture.
Fine, look. There we go.
We'll say, it is my last, I'm a third generation. I want to give hats to my dad. I probably never got involved with it for him. But, he served on planning and council when there wasn't a planning commission. It was the first. And I visited with him the other night. One thing that made me respect him a lot more through all that was being a kid living here for 56 years. When I was about 12, I'm gonna get choked up, but I was telling Joey earlier about it. You know, there was a lot went on back then that there wasn't a lot of people to do things, and people had to wear a lot of hats that probably wouldn't wear them today. But one story about my dad and Rena, I actually served with Rena, and bless her heart, the county was after the city. They kind of got some BPA. They were quit burning trash, and they got after the city to try to get your trash hauled off. We couldn't get it. I say we, but my dad said they couldn't get anybody to come get the city trash. And so Rena, bless her heart, gave a truck, and my dad volunteered on his Saturdays to help haul the trash. And as a council member and Rena, like I said, my mom fed the boys. They got some high school boys. My dad didn't make nothing on it. The city, you know, they took in some money, but it was just to give somebody a job. It's just to try to give something back to the city to try to, you know, keep the county at bay. And the city was trying to find somebody to come out and grab the trash. But I just say, you know, that's the commitment. And like I said, I know you won't find people maybe not to do that today, and maybe won't ever have to do that, but there are other commitments that have to be made and stuff. And I think people, like I said, it's not just sitting up here. All these guys and people I've been on with the past, they give a lot. I think I can count on both hands how many times I missed in that long a time. But it wasn't because I didn't have anything else to do. It was just because I figured if they're going to be here, I need to be here. And this is my home. So like I said, you got some good people up here. I've served with many of them for a long time, and I've served with some that were good, and the chemistry was never there. You know, the people come and go, but this is a good commission. Centerton's growing the right way, and I can remember I worked with a guy that I used to be best friends with, lived down here, and McDonald's came to Bentonville, and we were like, oh, we wish we had one. And when we got one with brothers down there, I was so tickled, and me and him met down there after it opened, and just, you know, was glad that we could sit there and finally had our own little McDonald's, you know, so. Little quirky story, but I appreciate it.
Story, I was, you ain't got this seat's broken in well. That one, you're gonna need a new seat. Have to order a whole new seat for that.
All right, there's a tech review meeting on the 20th. Are you? Okay. Just as a reminder, there is a work session on the downtown plan presentation. You guys should have received an email on it. Make sure that you just take a peek at it, but there's a working session on the 24th at 6 p.m. And that is with the city council and ourselves. So I would ask that you guys be here. The next planning commission meeting, I'll see you before then, but the next planning commission meeting is 9/1. If you can't be here, make sure that you email. And I'll see you before the next council meeting.
Also, I just want to mention on 9/1 will be the public hearing for the downtown plan. So that will be the formal public hearing. You'll have the work session on the 24th and then the public hearing on the 1st and council on the 8th.
So is the public allowed to speak at this work session?
It was originally set up where it was a presentation to the council, the planning and the public.
Okay.
So it's mainly a presentation. We were planning on them providing input. But it does need to be moderated somehow.
It is an open meeting since we'll all be there and because the council will be there.
Yeah.
Because we're there, it has to
You can't
be
be.
a published in an open meeting because we can't meet without. So, I mean, any meeting with the
I
city is
just want to make sure, because I know there's rules. If we meet, and we can only talk about that item on the agenda. And we can't take any votes.
No action can be taken, and.
I'm just, that's.
For this item.
I know.
No, it's a fair question because I also wondered about, we want public to give their input.
Right.
But not just take over the whole presentation.
Are we allowed to have discussions at this presentation or is it just what?
I think you can have discussions, I would not take action.
Yeah, we can't recommend them to change something or we can't do that would be an action that we're
Yeah.
not allowed as part of it.
That's.
You can have input as a citizen.
You could still recommend changes.
I mean, I think, here's the deal, it's a joint meeting. So it's not a planning commission meeting. So I mean, I think ultimately you can suggest things. What I would suspect would be when you come back the following week, you could make a recommendation officially that it go to council. If it,
Yeah, you can still ask questions.
but I think you can engage in dialogue. Hey, we think this is a great idea. Guess what? Next week we'll come back and we'll have that.
Yeah, I just wanted clarification on the rule.
Yeah, so you can make suggestions for changes. You can't say, I won't vote on it unless you do this.
Right.
That's the polling thing and all
Right.
that stuff.
Is Juliet gonna be the?
I.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll find it. Like my last little yes, come.
And conducting the meeting.
It'll be done nicely, didn't she?
Made them there. Who handles the work session?
Be here to.
I don't know that we have a procedure for it. I would probably say the mayor probably should be, because he's he runs the council meetings and you guys serve at the at the capacity of the council, so I think that would be.
How about the challenge? We
Be up to the challenge, yeah.
Nothing.
Well, it's to listen in.
All right. Anything else from staff? Anything else from any of the?
One thing is on this meeting too, this is not a voting meeting. I'd also, if you can't be here, I did provide a Zoom link. If you want to come in on Zoom, make sure you put your name there so I can make it if you want to. We'd like for you to be here in person, but I know life happened, somebody have something that takes me out of town, but they provide. a Zoom link.
If there's not anything else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is anyone opposed?
Wait, no. Pick it up.